what we see happening with companies today is that before they embrace cloud, there needs to be trust in the service they get from a cloud provider. So we all talk about how do we secure our data. If we look at embracing cloud, there needs to be trust and the reassurance that for any customer before he moves towards the cloud, that he keeps his data secure at all times. Keeping data secure is one thing. It's also keeping data secured in relation to your policy and your compliance settings. So me or I as a customer, I want to be in control on how that data is secure, but also stays compliant based on my settings. So I see there is a big opportunity at the same time for companies to raise the level of security for their data, for securing their data, and at the same time for their cloud service providers to engage together with the customers on a good security policy that works in both ways.
Well, the risks come with the advantages of the cloud, which are virtualization, scalability, and throw away when you like. So, of course, the easier it is to deploy applications, the harder it gets to secure them. So, well, the tips would be to first know them, know your apps, know their security level, and then just protect them.
Well, I think we can ask 3 questions when it comes to cloud computing. The first one would be, how is your data protected? So the protection is not only about availability, because even if you store it in the cloud, are you sure that it's being backed up? It is also about the security in transit. For example, is it protected when it travels from your desktop to the cloud? A second question that I'd like to ask is, where is the data stored? You see a lot of organizations, especially when they are government dependent, but also in certain countries it's a rule that storage of data has to be within the country itself. I think, for example, Luxembourg for the PSF, for the financial sector, is a typical example, but also other organizations are starting to think about where is my data stored. For end users it's very easy because they don't care where it is stored, but in the end, if it's stored in some places, for example in China, you don't know whether they are going to access your data or not. So that brings us to the third question, which is, who can access your data in the end? If it's being stored even encrypted by the cloud provider, let's say, then there's still a possible risk that the government may access this data. Just as an example, we have the Patriot Act in the United States. So if you store information, even encrypted by your cloud provider, in a data center in the United States, they may have the right to have a look at your data and to force the service provider to decrypt your data. So these are more or less the 3 points that I would like to stress.
Well, if we look at security challenges today in organizations, I think it's fair to say that everyone is worried about when are we going to be breached. So we have this concept at SafeNet that says secure the breach, which actually means that people are aware that a breach is going to happen tomorrow, and we have, let's say, several solutions to help them take care of that. And at the end of the day, all we want to do is make sure that people can go to the cloud. So really our philosophy is, in our view, we at SafeNet, we can help organizations, CIOs to say yes to the cloud. And I think that's very important.